And there's another new poem called "We'd Love to Hear from You." You know, sometimes corporations say that they would like to hear your comments. So I saw this on a sort of a tissue box, actually. We'd love to hear from you. Oh. We'd love to hear from you. So the companies claim, though they have batteries of lawyers if you do. If you sit down to write a letter complaining about how their TV doesn't work, or their garlic press, the busted switch on their cheesy lamp, they'd love to hear from you. Though a letter sent to them would never reach its destination, frayed bird battling its way through storms, hunters, constant hunger and fatigue. And a telephone call only echoes in the endless circuits of their indifference. And if you show up, jacketed and tied, shoes brightly buffed, you'll take a seat and grow old waiting to speak to some underling who'll explain that he can do nothing but pass your message on, though you can see the vast lethargy in his eyes, an emptiness so complete you feel you're falling. Writing to a corporation is like praying to God. There will be no answer, but you may feel you've been heard. You may feel it in your heart, and one day you know you will be summoned. Whatever broken thing you have bought, whatever gadget you have acquired, you will stand before its maker, and you will tell him all your problems. This is the moment you've been waiting for. He'll be hearing from you. I think a lot about language and about words, as most writers would, most poets. And I was wondering what happened to all those great words in the 19th century they won't use anymore, because we're always inventing new words, and every generation has new slang and new words that take their place. Neologisms, we call them, new words, new logos, neologism. So in thinking about that, I naturally thought that these words these old words, maybe just retire. So it's a poem called "At the Retirement Home for Slang." And I'll have to say that again because it goes into the first line of the poem. At the retirement home for slang, they wander around in pajamas and robes, unkempt, malodorous, muttering to themselves, name tags askew on soiled flannel. Zounds, egads, and shucks, hardly revealing the power of their former lives. And here in a corner sits Balderdash, lost in a leather chair, his walrus mustache breeding smoke and sputum and crumbs. While outside, Jiminy crickets rest on the lawn, deciphering windrows of dead leaves. But just a few miles away near a small lake, Camp Neologism echoes with shouts. Far out and cool pick sides, as Rad and Gnarly kick a hacky sack around, and Awesome wanders in woods discovering new fauna. Woe and Chill paddle a canoe, shunning the rest, happy with their own devices. Such gaiety is lost in summer air, never finds its way across the lake as evening falls, shrouding boats at their moorings. Now Tush Tush whispers to himself as hogwash is wheeled in, leaving only Jeepers singing softly in fading light. Couple more poems. When I was a young man, I thought it would, there was always the romantic ideal in my head of being the wild poet, and being sort of very different and a cultural hero and all of that stuff. There are new cultural heroes today. Some of them are at this university. I was walking in Los Angeles down Sunset Strip, as a matter of fact, this big hotel, and they're having a huge convention there. And it was the convention of the new heroes, and I knew it immediately, and I went in to look around. Convention, yahoo.com. Computer eggheads cluster at the bar, complex as circuitry. Their chatter a static I can't understand. Name tags dangle like medals on Olympic stars. Conversation sparkles in the foyer, flows among tables spread with food no one seems to relish. The future swaggers up in khaki slacks, cell phone clapped to one ear, laptop slung from a shoulder like an email man on the worldwide beat. They call themselves netizens and digerati, speak in raptures of a scalable web, while gizmos blossom in their palms called pilots and buzzwords sizzle in their heads. Sexy girls in shorts and T-shirts prance around the lobby, you hooligans blazoned on their breasts. They only glance at me, superannuated jerk. Lone Luddite here. Yet here I am, among the wired, geek of language on a page, slouching towards a night of writing in my room. And this last poem called The Good Devil, sometimes it doesn't help. Sometimes you think you want to be something in your life, and you're just not that, and you're just never going to make it, and things won't work out for you, but maybe it'll work out well in some other way in the end. So this is called The Good Devil. And the Florentine that he mentions in this poem is Dante, the poet Dante. The good devil. He was bad at torture, flubbed his first flaying, dropped his pointed trident into a lake of oil and had to scorch himself diving in to retrieve it. Came out looking like a channel swimmer sheathed in pitch. Once he stepped on his own tail during a papal disembowelment, dropped the stomach of His Holiness on the flag marl where it rolled into a nearby flue. They had to fetch it out with iron ropes and sticks. And once, while the other demons drew and quartered, neatly splitting a false prophet like a chicken, he was busy gazing off, admiring the tapestry of fire that flickered on the horizon. He missed the special days of profanity, the blasphemer's Sabbath, the millennial parade of pagans. And when that poet showed up, the Florentine with sallow skin, he was off gathering teeth in the betrayer's oven to polish and string for his mother. The gossips assembled, glad for work, tongues humming like locusts during the first pharaonic plague. Rumor stretched its four necks and rose on leathery wings. When the order came up from below, winding its way through the bowels of authority to ordinary drudges like him, he was banished and had to hand in his pitchfork, tines unbloodied, shaft still immaculate of martyr's grease. He had to slouch in utter shame through the gates of perdition into a new and chastening light to make his living by the sweat of his labor. A poor farmer now, condemned to delve in wet earth like a simple worm. And everything he touched throve. Everything he planted grew in prolific, earth-nurturing rows, glistening with everlasting life. Thank you.